Hello, everyone. Welcome to another horrific review. I'm literally just back in from watching this, so I thought I'd jump on, get the stream while it's still fresh in my head. Because that's the worst thing about going to the cinema. You can't pause, you can't go through things, and you can't sit there and take notes. You have to, you know, try and remember all. And when you're an old fogey like me, the old grey matters don't work as well as they used to. But anyway, so just back from seeing Halloween Ends. It's a final in that trilogy. Was it a retcon? I still don't know how to describe it. It's like the retcon 2 onwards jumped ahead. So it's like a soft reboot type thing. But I'll be honest with you, I maybe should have watched Halloween and Halloween Kills before going down. But it just happened to be a time this afternoon. Got a matinee, thought I'd do it. Because this weekend, obviously, have stuff on. Not going to get a chance. And then once it starts getting into next week and all, I don't go. So when it comes to me going to the cinema, I have to kind of just do it on the spur of the moment, or else it doesn't happen. But anyway, this is a strange one. Really trying to get my head wrapped around it. They're telling almost like 3 different stories here, and they were teasing the setup for to continue. At the same time, they weren't, because obviously the whole thing is supposed to finish before the reboot again. You know how it goes with studios. But should have spoiled it or not? I'm sort of deliberate in here, because you kind of, the whole thing's kind of spoilery if you talk about the plot. Yeah, right. So let's go for it anyway. Sorry if you jump in and talk through plot points. Obviously, if you don't want to see a movie or you don't want a movie spoiled, don't check out reviews before you go and see it. Just go see it, make up your own mind, and then, like myself, I usually use reviews to confirm if how I think about things. You know, if I've got a certain thought about something, I go and see a couple of people how they reviewed a movie and see how I think about it and kind of weigh up my own thought process. But there you go, right? So it starts off. It's in the town, Bettersfield or something. I can't remember, Hat or something. I mean, in the town where this all takes place, it's still going along the idea of the spectre of Michael Myers has gripped the town. It's almost the same beats as Nightmare on Elm Street. You know how Freddy had the whole town eventually like under his thrall and terrible. This is the same thing with Michael, and with the events of the last one, with the actually on the streets trying to beat him up, and he escapes and takes out loads of people, and then disappears. So this is set 4 years after all that. Jamie Lee's portrayal of Laurie is better this time. I wasn't too fussed on the first 2. You know, Jamie Lee Curtis is one of those, Laurie Strode is one of those iconic characters, and she almost fell foul of this deconstruction nonsense that's going on. You know, everything has to be taken apart and ripped. So we've got this 4 years ahead, and she's sort of come to terms with things. She's living with Allison. Obviously, they're building a relationship, trying to get on with life. But the whole thing starts off actually with a completely separate family. So you've got these 2 parents, they're heading to a party, and they've brought this guy in, Corey, who's just turned 21, who's about to go to university. Life ahead of him type, twinkle in his eye sort of stuff. And he's babysitting this kid, and the kid's a wee brat. And basically, the kid's messing about, and of course, this huge, humongous house, like it looks like a normal suburban street, yet this bloody mansion in it. Very, very strange. But there you go. It's like about 6 floors high, the way they've set this up. Yeah, so basically what happens, the wee kid starts thinking about, locks Corey in an attic, and tragedy ensues because he kicks the door open, the wee kid falls down the stairs just as the parents walk in, and then it fast forwards time. So Corey, we don't quite get that he do time enough for it. It was ruled as an accident, so he's living in the neighborhood. They're all pointing the finger at him. He's trying to get on with his life. So it's almost like a completely separate storyline with him. And people are, he's trying to go about keep his head down. He keeps bumping into people. People keep poking at him and that sort of thing. And eventually that he finally sort of snaps. They're setting it up like a passing of the torch sort of thing, but they're also using the unreliable narrator trope. So it's very strange in terms of, is this guy, effectively sees Michael and survives. Michael doesn't kill him. And then he gets involved with Allison because Laurie meets him after he gets hassled from other kids. That's where it all gets a bit convoluted and strange, because they have this kind of plot going of this relationship between these two. And I'll be honest, there's no chemistry between Allison and Corey, the characters. There's no chemistry. It's like almost like she's taking in a puppy. Sorry, I'm just trying to gather my thoughts. Like I said, I'm just back from it. Doing this live. I'm just thinking here while I'm streaming, but yeah, so they set this whole convoluted mess that Laurie sees Corey in trouble with a bunch of kids, and I keep using the word kids, but they're all, they're all, like American 30-year-old kids that they have in movies. It's kind of that sort of thing. And they're supposed to be still at school, but they're going around. Like, he's obviously trying not to react because he's got like a mark on him for the events. So basically, sparks one of them out, that's him. He's in the shit, basically. But Laurie brings him to the medical center where her granddaughter works. They set them up. Then, within part of the plot, Laurie sees evil in Corey and then completely turns on him. And then people are saying, some of the shit people were saying, like in character, the Laurie is all very strange. Because the whole premise of, Michael Myers was her brother. He was deranged anyway. He killed the rest of their family and then he came hunting for her. But I think it's kind of showing mob mentality. I think that's the theme behind this. How mob mentality can warp and twist people. But it all comes ahead because, the kids chase Corey again. They knock him off a bridge. It's kind of left there, and then he encounters Michael. Michael actually brings him in and to the place where he was staying. But like Halloween 4, Halloween 4, they found him, or was it Halloween 2? They had him like living in a sewer. They've kind of replicated that again. Then we see Corey turn into like complete psychopath. Yeah, what else? God, it's a really really strange plot because instead of going for the usual beats of Michael coming back and the menace of him, they're almost doing it like, hey, Michael's going to pass off the torch to Corey. Corey then, where's he going next? He starts getting revenge on the kids that went after him, and he starts killing people. That's basically the way it works. And then we see Michael appear. There's a particular scene he goes after a girl who Allison works with, who gets promoted over Allison because she's shagging a doctor. All very, very cliche. Didn't get that plot point at all. But basically what they're showing is, that's not the first one. Sorry, apologies. First one's the police officer who went on a date with Allison and then basically harassing her. And the guy looks as if he's like my age compared to Allison, which is all very, very, very strange. The guy's acting like a complete muppet. Yeah, that's another one. Didn't get that kind of character. Just disposable, disposable characters. Make them unlikable so they can get chopped up. But that's basically Corey's first official victim, because he starts chasing after Corey because they had a confrontation. Corey leads him in and then basically says to Michael, "You need to show me the way." So it's this whole master and apprentice sort of thing. But they're also using the unreliable narrator trope to try and make you think, okay, is this all in Corey's head? I noticed something as well. On the adverts, like IMDb, they don't call him Michael, they call him the Shape. Like, what's that all about? So they're almost being disingenuous to the Michael Myers character, just trying to make it like a figment of people's imaginations. So this is what they're playing with, and this goes on for a few more beats. That Corey effectively becomes a killer. He has his own mask, and Michael's in the background, and they're leading it up as if they're going to basically tag team up to the point. Then they have this strange falling out, and Corey takes Michael's mask. So it's making you think that he just found the mask, and that was set off as psychosis with everything going on. Then we see Michael set up. One thing they're clever about is not showing Michael's face, so that's decent. You kind of get side shots and stuff, but not really like a full-on depiction of him. You also had him stumbling about a bit till he made his first kill, and then he sort of comes back to life. So that kind of had that thing going on too. Then they have the relationship between Corey and Allison, and they're talking about, oh, let's burn it down. I like the matches, as if they're going to do like a Thelma and Louise type, or Bonnie and Clyde type rampage. So they're almost setting it up as if she's going to be with him. So there are these two plot points. And then you have the Laurie Strode plot point, that she's basically just sitting around waiting for Michael while everyone points at her and blames her for everything. It's all very strange. And then you have Corey's relationship with his mother. And Ronald's the guy that owns the garage. And basically his mother's a bit of a nut job, but it looks like she's some sort of weird sexual attraction for her son. They've played that out. And then he has it fixated in his head that Ronald's with her, but it turns out, unreliable narrator sort of thing, that he's not. And he's completely oblivious to what's going on. So then you're starting to think, okay, is this the fragmentation of Corey's psyche, imagining scenes? It's almost like American Psycho type thing, the way they're playing this out. So it's not really a traditional Halloween movie. It's it kind of went off in a completely different direction. Now, that's all fine and well until we get towards the end, where the rampage happens, that people start getting killed, and then they're flipping in. Corey develops the strength of Michael and starts killing people who have sort of crossed his path along the way, until it gets to I'm coming to kill Laurie. And we see this scene in the trailer where she's waiting in the bedroom with a pistol, but before that, she lines it up like she's calling on her own suicide. So Corey's coming to kill her, wearing the boiler suit and Michael mask. And he's already told her once, if I can't have her, no one can, in reference to Allison. So he's not a complete Jekyll and Hyde sort of character. Like I said, it's all very odd. So that could have been all right. That, say, wrap it up there, because Laurie, he kills himself. He stabs himself in the throat. But if that was left, that he found the mask, and because of his own trauma and sort of got pushed to the edge, that he took on the persona of Michael Myers, that would have made sense. Say that it had to be Michael's body found, as opposed to Michael still alive. This would have made sense. And if they had have investigated and then found the homeless person that was killed, and then did the investigating and found Michael's body, that would have made sense. But no, this is where the movie just jumps the shark, so to speak. Michael then appears in the house. He finishes Corey off because, of course, Corey's not quite dead. And then he goes after Laurie, and then this whole fight. I've made the joke before that Laurie's basically the T-800, and Michael Myers is the new Terminator every movie, and they're just bashing each other about the place. It's funny because people bigger, stronger, more prepared, with training, don't stand a chance against Michael, but Laurie does. You know what I mean? And gives her own licks back. It's very, like I said, it's that's where it gets a bit silly. Then Alison jumps back in, and they both kill him, and they basically pin him to a table. Like, it's not even kill him, like stab him at the table with knives. Think Carrie, the whole scene with like kitchen knives going through him. It's all very, very, very odd. Hello there, Spider Master. Yeah, I'm actually near done here. Just talking about Halloween Ends. I'm just like at the final scene. I'm still wrapping my head around it. It's a strange movie. And then, like I said, they finally kill Michael again. And then all the police arrive. And then what did society do? And this is the really weird bit. It's, what I mean? It would have been enough to have him taking the corner. No, they turned to the roof of a car and decided to have a procession through the streets of the town so everybody can see it's him. So, I know it's probably the movie just going, yeah, it's finished now, done. And then put him through the what do you call it, the car wrecker thing, the grinder, the shove his body through that just to be sure. And then it just carries on. Alison leaves. Laurie picks up with her love interest, who's been making overtures towards her, and just ends. That was it. Very, very strange movie. Really was. Yeah, just difficult. Like I said, it's just going fresh, just getting my head around it while I'm thinking about it. It was actually a decent watch. See, up until the third act, the third and final act, it was actually a good movie. They were playing with a few interesting tropes, and if they had Corey take on the persona of Michael Myers because he found Michael's body, that would have made more sense. And then left it that the police, they found the body, so he'd been killed after all, but he crawled into a hole, essentially, and that's why they never found him. That would have made sense. And then explored it through Corey's own psychosis and him then focused on the Strode family. That would have made more sense. But the way they did this and the way they played up the weird relationship, like I said, they had no chemistry, and playing up their like lovey-dovey relationship just didn't work. And then trying to set them up that those two were going to go on a killing spree didn't work either. Just that you just didn't feel it, if that makes sense. Corey's breakdown you did feel. That made sense. That was actually done in context, and actually was he played really well. It just seems to be that at the third act, the studios got involved in got to wrap this franchise up so we can reboot it in 5 years' time, sort of thing. If it'll be that long. Oh, let's have a big send off. And we saw some of the marketing stuff that Jimmy Lee. Yeah, he is dead. But in my opinion, they could have left him dead from Halloween Kills. They could have had him crawl into a hole from his injuries and die, and had Corey discover the body. Because they set Corey up nicely in this to take over the mantle, if that makes sense. They could have they could have had him carry on the franchise. So instead of Michael, Corey, and that would make sense why they're calling it the shape. The mantle of Michael Myers as opposed to Michael himself would have made perfect sense. Having him killed at the end of this, and then them discovering Michael's body, or them discovering Michael's body but Corey's still on the run, would have made more sense. The way they ended this just fell flat. That's just the way I feel about it. It's like they tried to cram it all in the final act to give it some sort of good send-off, and it didn't work because they'd already done Michael in the flesh, in public, in Halloween Kills. So they'd already done that, and they'd already done the effect that he had in the town. They'd already set that up nicely in Halloween Kills. So this being the specter of Michael and the lingering evil presence of Michael would have made much more sense than to have Michael physically appear. That's just, like I said, that's just my opinion. You can agree or not, you know what I mean? If you've seen it and you've different thoughts on it, cool. That's just right. I think that this could have ended a lot better because it kind of built it up and then it just, like, it really fell flat at the end. That's the most disappointing bit because it was a good movie. There was good tropes. There was good whole playthrough, and also going back, you know what I mean. There's a lot to be said about going to see a horror movie in the cinema with the surround sound and huge screen. You know what I mean? That in itself gives it a presence. That's why we can't. You know, we shouldn't lose cinema. I know home theaters and all are great, and we've got technology at home, but there's something about going to the cinema and that experience, especially with horror, is just not to be missed. But there you go. That's kind of my review. If you've got different comments, sure, or different thoughts on it, should let us know. It could have been. I was just disappointed. You know, the more I've thought about it, I was just kind of disappointed at the ending. It's your typical generic studio ending to something, which is a shame because they're already set up for another bunch of sequels or another, like, the spirit of Halloween. I mean, they're already set up a new antagonist in Corey. So there you go. I'll leave it with you as that. Don't forget, keep up to date with the channel anyway. Later on tonight, we've got our horrific trail dropping. Tomorrow, I'm speaking with Justine Hammerstad. Sunday, we're talking about Deadstream, and I'm going to try and squeeze in an unboxing as well in between all that time. So we're quite busy, and I thought I'd get this one done early because don't have time. Basically, I've got stuff to do, but there you go. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this review. Interested to hear your thoughts on it. And until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.